So, Tesla, who is primarily an auto company, recently announced that they're going to be developing a robot in the coming years. And of course, this isn't too surprising. We do know that Tesla does have a lot of amazing and innovative technology, especially in the field of autonomy, which is probably one of the most, if not the most important component of a robot. But just how big of a deal is this for Tesla as a company and also the stock? As someone who is heavily invested in Tesla stock myself, what do I think about all of this and just how big of a deal do I think it'll be over the long term? I'd like to know the answer to some of those questions. So, we're going to be discussing all of this in today's video. I'm going to share my thoughts on everything that's going on right now and what I think is going to happen kind of from a long-term perspective as well. So, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Should be a fun one. Hit the like button if you do. But let's go ahead and get started. What's up, everyone? My name is Ale. Welcome back to my world of stocks. All right, let's just go ahead and start here with a quick intro into what this robot even is and what it aims to do. And then we'll talk about what I think it'll mean for Tesla as a whole and also from an investing perspective. Okay, now just to start out, I do want to clarify one quick thing about the robot, and that is that it's basically an offshoot of the other artificial intelligence stuff that Tesla has been working on for their vehicles, which was recently presented at their AI Day, where they also revealed the design of the robot. But more importantly, this was where they unveiled a new computer chip called the D1 that is designed and built entirely in-house and will be used by their new supercomputer called Dojo, which will be used to run their neural network training. Now, Musk claims that this new supercomputer will be able to process the gigantic amounts of camera imaging data from Tesla vehicles and do it 4 times faster than other computing systems, which could theoretically make this the fastest supercomputer in the world, although we'll have to wait and see if that turns out to be the case when it officially becomes operational sometime next year. But this is really important because right now you have over 1 million Tesla vehicles out on the road continuously collecting data through their cameras and sensors, so Dojo is needed for processing those giant amounts of data at a faster speed so that it can improve the entire AI architecture more efficiently and then shoot back out updates to Tesla vehicles over the air to continuously repeat the cycle of collecting, processing, and improving all of their autonomous software. This is one of the reasons why investors are so excited about Tesla, because they already have so many Tesla vehicles out on the road collecting autonomous data, and that's really helped put them so far ahead of the competition. So the more you scale that up, the larger the advantage will be for Tesla as a whole, which will also be important for robots, and we'll get into that in just a second. But currently we know that Waymo is in second place in autonomous data to Tesla when it comes to those autonomous miles driven by vehicles. And you've probably seen the headlines recently of Waymo passing 20 million miles, which is a huge milestone for them for sure. And of course, there is practically zero coverage on Tesla from the biased media that typically hates Tesla because of the lack of advertising spend, as well as other kind of maybe political or corrupt reasons. They've always just kind of tried to manipulate Tesla stock and make it go down. But according to Lex Friedman's predictions, which by the way is one of my favorite podcasters, highly recommend him. If you've never listened to him, he's really smart and really unbiased in the area of artificial intelligence. He's an expert in it. But he projects that Tesla will surpass 5 billion autonomous miles driven this year. That's with a B. So you're talking 5 billion compared to the next closest in Waymo at only 20 million, which again is a big amount, but it's nothing compared to Tesla. In other words, it's not even close. And Tesla is now not only gigantically bigger in terms of data collected, but if this new supercomputer turns out to be the fastest or most powerful AI training computer out there, then they'll be able to process all of this data much faster than the competition, and that's just going to mean that their lead continues to expand more and more, and the competition may never be able to catch up, or at least it would take them many years to do so, in my opinion. Anyway, what does all of this have to do with the Tesla robot? Well, that computer, along with all of that data that it's collecting and processing, will obviously be useful not just for cars, but also for robots that need to function autonomously. So Tesla basically came out and said, look, we're going to be developing a consumer friendly robot that will handle basic tasks that humans don't normally like to do. And it's going to be based on all of the work that we already do with our autonomous vehicles, since it will use the same computer processing chip as well as 8 visual cameras for operating. Now, in terms of size, it's expected to be at around 5'8" in height, weigh around 125 pounds, be able to carry 45 pounds, and will purposely walk at a fairly normal pace of 5 miles per hour so that actual humans can run away from it or even overpower it if it came to that extreme. And of course, Musk noted that it's going to be very friendly, but if you know anything about Musk, then you know that he's always been kind of afraid of artificial intelligence and stuff like that. So he's literally making sure that the Tesla bot is not going to be strong enough to overpower humans when inevitably they take over. And I say that only kind of half kidding, because I do actually think that artificial intelligence will probably bring about the end of humanity. I mean, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but we know that humans are the ones making and programming these things, and we know that humans can, in many cases, be evil or at least very corrupt. And also, at the very least, I would say that humans make even a lot of innocent mistakes. So I think it's just a matter of time before something goes wrong when it comes to artificial intelligence and their kind of connection with robots. But we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but that just seems like one of the more kind of likely things to maybe, perhaps end humans, unless, of course, we go into like nuclear warfare between countries or stuff like that. But those kind of things, those are the things that usually scare me the most. Anyway, I don't mean to go off on a rant about that. Hopefully, all of that will just be like out of our lifetime. But anyway, in the meantime, the head of the Tesla bot, just kind of going back to the Tesla bot right now, the actual head of it will actually be a screen that displays important information, and it's supposed to be able to navigate a world kind of autonomously that is built for humans thanks to Tesla's robust artificial intelligence architecture that will continue to improve. As far as release date and pricing, of course, it was way too early for them to even hint at a price, but we do know that full self-driving for Tesla vehicles will cost you around $10,000, so it's safe to say that the Tesla bot will not be any cheaper than that, I would assume. And more realistically, I think it'll be many, many more times that. Just because if you look at maybe some of the competition, I mean, for example, we could look at the robot dog from Boston Dynamics. That dog, it's just a robot dog. That thing already costs around $75,000. And I would assume that the Tesla bot would be in higher demand and have more capabilities than the robo dog. So I'd expect it to perhaps cost even more, but we'll have to see. Anyway, Musk claims that they should have a prototype finished by sometime next year. Of course, we know that Musk is notorious for overpromising on occasion on some of those release dates, so I'd probably extend that by another year or two, just because it does seem like maybe a little bit more of a complex thing. But the point is that it's definitely something that they will be actively working on over the coming years. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, we know that this is a pretty crazy and innovative thing, but Tesla definitely has all of the infrastructure in place to make this happen, and I think that may help them be one of the leaders in the space. But what does that mean for the company and the stock going forward, and how is even Wall Street reacting to all of this, and what can we realistically expect as investors or maybe potential investors and so on? So let's take a closer look. I'll share my thoughts as we go through it. Now, as far as the stock price goes, the AI day was on the 19th of August, which saw the stock trading for as low as $667 per share. And since then, it's climbed up by about 10%. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was all because of the AI day, though, as there were a few other things kind of going on for Tesla as a whole, including a new analyst turning bullish, but I think it's also fair to say that the AI day did help a bit as well. However, some analysts took a more bearish tone, at least when looking specifically at the Tesla robot, like for example, Wedbush Security saying that the Tesla bot is an absolute head scratcher that will further agitate investors at a time of rising EV competition and safety issues for Tesla. Instead, they feel that Tesla should be focusing on re-accelerating demand in China, as well as addressing the ongoing chip shortage, which I admit are fair concerns, although I'd argue that those will be fixed with time. But then you also had Wells Fargo chiming in, and they said that next year's timeline for the prototype is too optimistic, and neither one of those two analysts increased their price targets after the event, despite all of the other amazing stuff that was shown off, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Personally, I think that the Bears are way off when it comes to the bot, and I feel that they really lack any kind of vision. You have to keep in mind the robotics market is expected to skyrocket to over $200 billion over the next few years. That's like 7 times the revenue that Tesla did last year as an entire company. And look, I'm not saying, of course, I'm not saying that Tesla will dominate that market, because it's obviously going to be huge and broken down into various sub markets with lots of competition within them. But I do think that Tesla has a very real chance of at least competing heavily within it and in certain areas, and especially on the more kind of premium side, and not just on the hardware kind of robotic side, but I would also say on the software side as well. Again, Tesla is way ahead of the competition in autonomy and artificial intelligence. So there's really no reason why Tesla can't even go out to other companies, even competitors, and lease out that software and that technology, which, by the way, would bring in very high margin revenue and profits for the company, would really help the profitability going forward. And by the way, that's something that they've stated themselves that they're completely willing to do, is basically lease out this technology and this software to other companies as well, and just kind of keep lifting up the market as a whole. That's not the only reason why this is a big deal or why the robot is good news for Tesla and the stock. For one, it brings in huge publicity for Tesla, and they're really a specialist at this point, especially Elon Musk, where they basically spend no money on advertising, and they continue to just catch headlines and get people talking about Tesla. I mean, in this case, they literally just showed like a 3D rendering of a robot, and it got everybody talking. They didn't even have to build anything. So while these analysts are out there complaining and arguing over whether the robot should even be made or not, Tesla didn't even make a robot, and they're still benefiting from it already. And even if they were to just scrap the whole project and not even build a robot in the future, they already got a lot of attention for it. So they're already benefiting from it. But let me be very clear, Tesla will build a robot. I mean, and I'm very, very confident in saying that, because here's the thing, Tesla already basically builds robots with their vehicles. Their vehicles are kind of like robots in terms of the technology that they use and how smart they are, and the autonomy of them, and the artificial intelligence and everything that's already going on with them. And which, by the way, is something that Elon Musk has stated as well, and I agree with him on that, is that Tesla is already basically making robots, but just kind of vehicle ones. So it wouldn't be that hard to transition over to a consumer-friendly, actual kind of humanoid robot. Tesla already is an expert in batteries and autonomy and neural nets and sensors and actuators and so on and so on. So there's no reason why Tesla couldn't just easily make a robot and probably charge a very high premium price tag for it, just because of their strong branding and their lead in a lot of the technology, which is going to mean high margins for them, and it's going to help their profitability. It's just another reason why I really like Tesla, because of how innovative they are and how much their competitors are always so complacent and lazy to take risks and think outside the box. One of the things I like about Tesla is that they shoot at so many different targets. They try to compete in so many different very high growth, very innovative markets that they don't even really have to be successful in all of them. But if they can be successful in just a few, they're still going to have a ton of success. I mean, you look at logistics with the Semi, you look at energy with the solar roof and battery storage, you look at trucks with the Cybertruck, you look at EVs, of course, just with all their vehicles, you look at robo-taxi market with their autonomous technology, you look at underground tunnels with the Boring Company using Tesla vehicles, and now you also have robots. I mean, there's just so many different avenues for Tesla to make money, to make profits, to continue to grow. And by the way, I talk about all of this bringing in a lot of publicity for Tesla. What it also does is it attracts a lot of talent to their team. If you're an expert in artificial intelligence and autonomy, why would you, and robotics, why would you not want to go to work for Tesla and build the first Tesla robot? I mean, that would be a big thing on just kind of your resume, or just for personal reasons or for notoriety, knowing that you helped build the Tesla robot. It would be a big deal. So they're already going to be attracting a ton of talent over, and it's not just talent, which they need to continue being an innovative company. They absolutely need that. Don't understate that. That's a very big deal. But it also brings in investors too. When you're innovative, when you're pushing the boundaries, and you're exciting like this, you're an exciting type of company like this, and you catch that much attention and that strong of branding, well, you're also going to attract investors too. So it's good for the company as a whole. And no matter how I look at this, no matter how I look at the Tesla robot, sure, it might not be as big of a deal right now to make the stock worth buying. It's not like you see the Tesla robot announced and you think, oh, I have to go buy Tesla stock. It's not that kind of thing, but it's just another thing to kind of convince you to be an investor in Tesla and to be optimistic about the future. And it makes it easier to hold on to a stock that commands a premium price tag. It's an expensive stock, but when Tesla continuously announces these type of things, it's just yet another reason to keep holding on to that stock. So, do I think it makes a Tesla stock worth a ton more money right now? No, not necessarily, but it makes it a lot easier to hold. And Tesla is the type of stock that is always going to be super volatile because it's always going to be catching headlines, and there's always going to be buying opportunities in Tesla. So I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, okay, they announced a Tesla robot, go out and buy the stock right now. I think the best times to buy Tesla stock is whenever it dips, which is all the time. They always have dips. So anytime Tesla stock has a dip, that's a good time to buy the stock. But these type of things just makes it a lot easier for me to hold on to my shares. And, I don't like to play the whole volatile game. I'm not so much of a swing trader or a short-term trader. I like to hold long term. This makes it easier for me to hold it long term, and then I can continuously add to it too if there's ever any dips and stuff like that. But Tesla stock is already my second largest position, so maybe I'm not too excited to go out and buy a lot more because it already has such great influence over my portfolio. But it's like I said, it's a stock that I'm happy to hold, and this is just yet another reason, and I couldn't be happier. Tesla stock, long-term investment for me. Have no plans of selling anytime soon. So anyway, I'm still very excited about Tesla. I'm excited about all of this. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you share the same thoughts as I do. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for stopping by. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button. Really helps support the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Take care. Bye-bye.